Libra, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Libra for the week. Libra, sun, moon, and rising. What messages do we have for Libra? We're going to start with what's the theme of the week? What is the theme of your week ahead, Libra? Let's have a look here. Tick-tock, divinely timed events. It's time, Libra. Have a look. It's time. I love this card. Okay, very interesting first card for you, Libra. Oh, let's put these over here. So this card really says to me that there's stuff happening right now. You could be seeing a lot of synchronicities. You could be experiencing some things lining up that you weren't expecting to line up. You might be feeling like it's time to do something, and it's sort of inescapable, this feeling that you're like, it's time. The time has come. You know, it's kind of that feeling where you might be really focused on all the signs and synchronicities. You might be feeling a lot of messages here. It's an interesting moment here where you may be looking at life in a very different way. You know, it's interesting. You could be looking at things very linear, or you might be seeing that things are actually quite timeless, and that the concept of time in and of itself is an illusion, which is an interesting thing to consider. This is also a time where you could be experiencing miracles, like straight up miracles, like things that you never thought would line up are suddenly lining up. And you're like, how did that happen? And it's like, well, it's divinely timed. This is sort of a time where it's like, it just sort of is magical in a sense, because things are happening in the time that they need to happen, and that you don't have to do anything. You know, even though you might be feeling like it's time, I wonder, for some of you, it might be time to act on something, but for others of you, it could be time to make a choice, or it could be time to initiate something, or it might be a time where you just all of the sudden experience a culmination of things lining up for you. Let's jump into the tarot cards and see what's coming up here for Libra, sun, moon, and rising. What's at the center of your reading is the Four of Cups. So you might be sitting in a space right now where you're like, I missed out on an opportunity. Again, looking at time in a very linear way and thinking, if I had only done this in the past, if I had only spent less time focusing on this and more time focusing on this. And this can be a time where, as we do that sort of critical evaluation, we miss out on something that's coming through almost like a miracle, almost like a synchronicity. Something magical is being offered to you, but because you're focused more on these three cups, you might miss this. And so this is a time to, I feel like this card is saying, wake up. Wake up to what's going on around you, Libra, because you could miss something amazing that's happening just for you. So don't get too down about the past. See, there's the Ten of Cups in reverse. So that really, really makes me feel like you're focusing on, you're almost focusing on sort of looking at emotions in a way where you're really focused on the miscommunications. You're struggling in certain relationships. There may be unrealistic expectations because you keep thinking, if only, or if I should, I wish I had, I should have, I would have, you know. Like whenever we get into this kind of mindset, it's very easy to have miscommunications. It's very easy to have unrealistic expectations. It's very easy not to feel worthy of love. And that might be what's happening right now. You might be experiencing missed opportunities in your mind. You're evaluating things as sort of being out of scope, and nothing's out of scope. Like, I feel like, again, you got tick-tock because it's possible that everything's happening exactly the way it needs to happen for another purpose. It just might not be the purpose that you imagined. You know, again, there's the Hierophant. So always knowing that there's a more spiritual storyline happening than the one that your ego is letting you believe is the truth, right? Oops. Look at that. Ace of Swords. Time for a new way of thinking, Libra. Time for a new way of thinking. And there's the Emperor. So there's your Aries energy coming in really fiery and hot to try to lead this situation in a new direction, because these came out together. So it's sort of like can see the Emperor, this divine masculine, sort of looking at the Four of Cups and going, wake up, let's do this different. Let's shift our mindset. Don't keep this mindset that you've missed out and that you're not worthy of anything because of stuff in the past. Time is not linear. That is an illusion that your ego is trying to get you to believe so that you feel sort of stuck. But really, you're not stuck. You can shift your perspective at any time. And when we shift our beliefs and our mindset, that's when our emotions change. And when we change our emotions, we regulate our nervous system. And when we have more inner peace within our nervous system, that's when the whole thing changes, right? Like, we're so inflamed most of the time, and our nervous system is just like constantly in fight or flight and anticipation. And so it's like, if you can bring stillness to that by first looking at your mindset and then experiencing a different set of emotions, right? And a different set of beliefs, then you can really take the lead here. It's very interesting. Let's see what's at the root of this for Libra. I love that. The root of this is the moon. So there's our divine feminine coming in to sort of balance out this divine masculine, always reminding you that there's more beneath the surface than just what appears on the surface. So if on the surface you're like, I missed out on an opportunity, I screwed up, I made different choices than I wish I had, then this is an opportunity to be like, well, it's a new day. So you know what? I can choose whatever I want right now. And I can create a new set of beliefs around what's going on. And it's interesting because seeing the moon always makes me think there's more to this than you realize. The full truth has not been illuminated yet. You know, seeing the sun is a time of illumination where things are visible and the light is shining. The light of the moon is actually just the reflection of the sun shining off of the moon. So there's so much mystery when we see the moon. We can't even see the other side of the moon, right? We're always looking at the same visual of the moon. And so it's like there's a whole other truth beneath the surface here, Libra. And I just really feel like it's like your emotions are lying to you and trying to get you to believe that the past is it's over, and like if you screwed up in the past, then that's going to affect the future forever. You know what I mean? Like those kind of linear beliefs that really see things as concrete. I don't know. I feel like you have the opportunity this week to look at this differently. To look at it differently. As I say that, Three of Wands. Really look at it differently. Imagine it differently. And as you imagine a different situation, without trying to control the how, you can really just sort of look at the outcome. You know, and without getting too attached to an outcome, you can sort of just feel the emotion of it. Like, what would it feel like if you were completely content? You know, so content, you're not controlling the outcome or the how. You're just saying, I'm content. I am grateful. I understand that I can trust what's happening because I trust what's happening is for my highest good in all ways and always. You know what I'm saying? I'm stumbling over my words a little bit today, but I just feel like, yeah, you're being invited to change your mindset and to really look at time in a different way with that TikTok sitting there. Looking at time in a very different way. There's the Wheel of Fortune. I'm telling you, you're moving through things. Even if you have doubts because of the past does not necessarily have to predict the future. But I feel like you're looking at time in that way. And so you might be thinking to yourself, what is she talking about? But this Two of Wands tells me you're at a crossroads of making a decision about how you're going to proceed. Are you going to proceed on the basis that you're not worthy of love and that you've missed out on an opportunity and that all hope is lost? I can't help but think that's where you're sitting right now, Libra. But I don't know. It doesn't appear that is the actual truth. final card for you, it's the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is the ultimate card, especially when it's in reverse, of illusions. That these cups are full of things that are sort of the 7 deadly sins in my mind. Like when I see this card in reverse, it tells me that you may have sort of made this emotional decision that you have no options, that you're stuck because you made these decisions in the past and now you're stuck and there is nothing to envision. You're not at a crossroads. Like it's a very interesting card to see in the final position, because I feel like it really does suggest that you feel like that you're blocked and that you have no options ahead that are pleasing to you. And so as a result, you end up being too afraid to make any decisions because you feel so overwhelmed that you're going to do the wrong choice. And when we think that way, it's because we think time is linear. So you don't see each day as a new opportunity or each moment as a new opportunity. You're stuck believing that, well, I screwed up in the past and now I'm paying for it. It's that kind of energy, and it feels sort of like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like that kind of narrative is serving you, you know? And bottom of the deck is the Hermit. I was sort of feeling guided to have a look at the bottom of the deck, and we see the Hermit and the Hierophant there. And I can't help but think that these guys, and then the Four of Wands in reverse, which always says, be grateful. Be grateful. Seek out the truth and the wisdom of your experiences and add some spirituality to this material world that we live in. You know what I mean? And there's justice. That's you. So it's sort of a time where you need to bring balance to the way you're thinking, my dear, dear Libra, and to see that there could be more to this than what you have decided because of your way of looking at time, you know? Very interesting. I'm going to leave it at that for you, Libra. Thank you so much for this reading. And if it's resonated for you, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. It's so nice to connect with you through these readings. And I'm sending you so much love and light, my friends. Take care. Have a great week.